The premiere of Melania Trump's documentary, Melania, was a big night for the First Lady, and special guests from the MAGA circle gathered at the Trump Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. to show their support. With familiar faces arriving and cameras everywhere, you know what that means. It's time for a quick style check. Let's see how they showed up for the night. Let's start with the leading lady of the night. Melania Trump went for what you could call quiet power dressing. A sleek black belted dress, minimal accessories, controlled styling, and that signature composed posture. But, and tell me if you agree, against a black and white themed backdrop, the look didn't quite pop. For the central figure of the evening, I expected a little more visual impact. Polished, but slightly too safe. Donald Trump stuck to his signature formula: navy suit, white shirt, and tie. No surprises and no risks, just the look we've seen many times before. Together, the couple kept it classic and controlled, but the overall vibe leaned more safe and steady than red carpet exciting. Next up, a moment with Melania's dad, Victor Navs. His suit looked noticeably oversized, giving off a slightly retro 1980s vibe. Not a crime, but a quick tailoring tweak could have taken the look up a notch. Then Nicki Minaj arrived, and she wasn't blending in. Her Schiaparelli dress was gorgeous, but totally stole the spotlight from the understated tone of the night. Did Nicki miss the dress code memo, or was she just here to outshine everyone? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. showed up in a sharp pinstripe, but the look had its own awkward moment. That skinny tie looked like it was borrowed from a middle school award ceremony, giving the outfit a strangely formal meets awkward vibe. Moving on to couples, Pete Hegseth and Jennifer Rauchett gave very different vibes. His crisp blue suit was all business ready, while her black sequin jumpsuit felt dated, straight out of a 2010s New Year's Eve party. Together, the mismatch made their outfits feel off and a bit tacky. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and his wife Kelly kept it very formal, maybe a bit too formal for a premiere. He stayed in his classic navy suit, and her shiny champagne dress with cap sleeves and pocket details felt more like department store style than red carpet chic. Mike Waltz and Julia Nashewat delivered one of the more cohesive style pairings of the night. Clean tailoring, soft neutrals, very on theme. Her ivory suit was especially sharp. The only slight distraction was a glossy satin top that shifted the texture balance a bit. But overall, very put together. Howard and Allison Lutnick took a similar approach, but executed it even more smoothly. His dark suit and her creamy tailored outfit were simple, elegant, and premiere ready. Nothing flashy, just clean, elegant, and perfectly on theme for a premiere night. So, as we've seen, the premiere leaned into quiet, restrained fashion, a shift from Melania's usual dramatic style. But that careful restraint hasn't always worked in her favor. Sometimes her outfits end up looking polished but underwhelming. Let's go back to 2003, when Melania was not yet married to Donald Trump. She showed up at New York Fashion Week in a white button-down tucked into a black skirt with a slit, paired with black heels. On paper, it sounds sleek, but for Fashion Week, it was underwhelming. Honestly, Melania looked less like a guest and more like someone working the event. Fast forward to 2009 at a fashion show at Bryant Park, New York. Melania went with what should have been a failsafe, the classic little black dress. But instead of a showstopper, her sleeveless sheath with a high neckline fell flat. No bold accessories, no standout details, just a plain black clutch. Honestly, it looked less runway ready and more like something you'd see at an office holiday party. Now jump ahead to 2017, right before Donald Trump's inauguration. At the Lincoln Memorial, Melania showed up in a black skirt suit with black gloves and black heels. Yes, she smiled for the cameras, but her outfit gave the exact opposite vibe. It looked somber, almost like she was heading to a memorial service rather than a celebration.
Would you be a good first lady, do you think?
Yes, of course.
Also in 2017 at the Invictus Games in Toronto, Melania sat next to Prince Harry in a gray houndstooth pantsuit that felt surprisingly flat. And seriously, these pants? The wide, cropped style chopped her legs like she borrowed them from a circus costume. By 2018, on a state visit to the UK, she doubled down on that blend-in approach. Wearing a cream coat buttoned to the top with a plain black belt, Melania looked more like she was trying to disappear than make a statement. Even events that begged for a little sparkle didn't get it. For the 2020 SpaceX launch, a historic moment, Melania wore a conservative blue and black sleeveless dress that was fine. But fine isn't memorable. Her sunglasses clashed with the style, making the whole thing look mismatched.
The fashion industry, it's glamorous, but it's at the same time very tough.
And she didn't stop there. In 2021 at the World Series, Melania chose a beige trench coat buttoned up so tightly it looked stiff and businesslike. A scarf, a pop of color, even a pair of standout shoes could have helped. But she kept it all muted. By the time we get into Melania Trump's later years as First Lady, the shift in her wardrobe is hard to ignore. Gone were the days of striking capes and jewel-toned gowns. Instead, she leaned almost exclusively into muted neutrals, gray suits, and trench coats. Outfits that looked more about blending in than standing out.
I feel very comfortable with myself and with my body.
Fast forward to November 2024, when she cast her vote again in Florida. This time, Melania went for a black jacquard shirt dress by Dior, paired with black heels and her trademark sunglasses. A polished look, yes, but not new. She'd actually worn the dress before. Re-wearing an outfit isn't unusual, but the choice was telling. Melania seemed to be signaling that if Donald Trump returned to the White House, she'd adopt the image of a traditional First Lady. Conservative, serious, and not competing for attention.
I think nothing prepared me more to be First Lady in front of the world than the fashion industry.
By early 2025, Melania's looks became even more toned down. On January 24th, leaving the White House for a trip to North Carolina and California, Melania wore an army green puffer jacket, black skinny jeans, and a beanie. Yes, you heard that right, a beanie. For someone who once made headlines for stilettos on the tarmac, this casual, dreary look felt oddly uncharacteristic, like she was aiming for undercover First Lady. March 2025 brought more of the same. For Donald Trump's address to Congress, Melania wore yet another gray Dior outfit, a belted jacket, skirt, and scarf. Professional, yes. Exciting? Not in the slightest. And then Easter rolled around, a holiday famous for pastels and cheerful colors. Did Melania join in on the fun? Nope. She wore a beige trench coat that blended into the White House lawn while Donald stood beside her in a bright tie. If Easter fashion is about springtime joy, Melania clearly missed the memo. Even at high-profile events like the opening of Les Miserables at the Kennedy Center, she didn't reach for glam. Instead, Melania chose a long, sleeveless black dress paired with silver heels. Pretty but plain, and certainly not the bold statement you might expect at a Broadway premiere. And for the U.S. Army's 251st anniversary parade in June 2025, the First Lady wore an ivory and navy pinstripe skirt suit by American designer Adam Lippes. Finally, an American label, but still the effect was more corporate chic than celebration. Later in September, she stayed true to beige mediocrity. At a White House task force meeting on artificial intelligence education, Melania arrived in a pinstripe pantsuit by Max Mara. Polished and professional, yet painfully safe. Looking back at all these outfits, it's clear Melania's style has shifted toward a more understated vibe. But what do you think? Has her wardrobe become boring, or do you actually like this more low-key, subtle approach? Share your thoughts in the comments.